My 3-year-old son Baron and I went to the local library, and he picked out a little book full of digging machines, dozers and excavators and so on, and we brought it home. And I sat there reading it to him, and all the machines were completely sparkly and bedazzled, and the landscapes they were working were just totally desolate and flattened. And the more I was flipping the pages of this book, the more I was getting ticked off at, these big machines wreaking havoc in the landscape. And I put it down and I said, you know what, I'm going to write my own children's book. I'm Jared Rosenbaum, and this is my sister Laura Rosenbaum. Our book is called The Puddle Garden. It's a children's book about native plants and wildlife, and in it, Bear Cub, our main character, moves into a big, empty, lonely new house with his family. Not only is it big and empty inside, but it's also empty outside. It's just lawn, it's just grass everywhere. He goes outside looking for some friends and something to do, and he sees this puddle and he has an inspiration.
For this particular book, I'm using an assortment of micron pen and watercolor. I find these watercolors to be really great in terms of capturing the color and the beauty of these plants.
I have not seen kids' books out there that really talk about our local plants and our local wildlife in the form of a story. So sure, you can go out and you can get great books about elephants and tigers and so on, but I really wanted to glorify hummingbirds and cardinal flowers and Joe Pyeweed. So this is cardinal flower and its wild habitat. We're in this shady, swampy woods, and it's just blooming so prolifically. If you compare the shape of a hummingbird's head and beak to cardinal flower, and you can see pictures of hummingbirds pollinating them, the hummingbird will basically put its beak way down in there, sip delicious nectar, and meanwhile the anthers over here just deposit a little bit of pollen on the hummingbird's forehead, and then off it goes to pollinate another flower. So this is what we would talk about when we're talking about native plants and wildlife, just inextricably supporting one another. They've evolved together over many, many millennia so that their shapes actually fit together in that way. And that's something you simply wouldn't have without that deep time, ancient ancestral connection that native plants and wildlife have with one another. And that's part of what this book is about, is helping children learn about these plants and these wildlife connections really early on in life so that they're able to make those connections in their own life and nag their parents to create a wildlife garden in their backyard so they can have wildlife friends also.
In order to come up with Bear Cub, Jared showed me some pictures of Baron, his son, and my nephew. It's great to see the world through his eyes and make this character come to life.
There's an adder. And this one too. So I couldn't hear. Some are hiding in here. They're hiding in here. Spacefish is hiding right in there. It's right there. That's the tallest.
This is my son Baron. His name means little bear, although when he grows up it's going to mean strong bear.
These are stinging nettles. These are raspberries. I ate some raspberries on it.
I've always loved the combination of words and beautiful artwork in my favorite children's books, and I always thought that I would be a teacher or an educator of some kind, and for a long time I've wanted to write a children's book. Little Bear came with his mother to eat blueberries. Little Bear, she said, eat lots of berries and grow big and fat. We must store up food for the long, cold winter. We hear grim news about the natural world almost every day, and with our human landscapes so dominating the Earth's surface, we need to become better at making our landscapes more like wild landscapes, abundant, diverse, and functional. This book is about a project that children and adults can do together to become more aware of the natural world and to create a garden that makes a positive difference for plants, animals, and the living earth.